These are the four different types of vocal melodies that you can create over a very simple bass line in this case. And they have four general shapes. We're going to demonstrate these kind of shapes over a very common descending bass line in a major key. C, G over B, A minor, G, F. Many songs use different variations of this bass line that goes right down the C major scale. The easiest type of counterpoint is parallel, where you pick a note on the first chord and you follow the bass line right down the notes of the scale. I'll demonstrate it in parallel thirds. On this C chord, I'm going to begin this melody on the note E. And notice how my melody is basically a decorated version following the bass line right down the scale. The next type of counterpoint moves in the same general direction as the bass line, but not exactly the same intervals. In that case, it was parallel thirds. So follow this melodic shape, which also descends, but at a different rate than the bass line. So you hear that melody coming down following the bass line, but not in exactly the same shape. The next type of counterpoint is, again, fairly an easy one to create vocally, where you take a little note in the key and you just sing little decorations on either side of it. These are the neighbor tones. Notice that this melody will center around the note G, with maybe a couple of notes on either side. This type of counterpoint is called oblique, and it's where one of the voices, in this case the bass line, is moving, whereas the vocal melody remains constant. The last type of counterpoint is perhaps the most challenging, but with a little practice you'll get the hang of this too. It's where the bass line moves in one direction and the vocal melody moves in the opposite direction. The technical name for this is contrary motion, but you can see the way the melody now, the vocal melody, will move in the opposite direction from the bass in an ascending kind of shape, one of the many shapes you learn in this course. And these are the four types of counterpoint. Directly parallel, similar kind of motion, oblique, or contrary motion. Now, there is one additional aspect to counterpoint, which is the effect of the counterpoint. And there is one predominant effect here, which is one of the big effects in all songwriting, which is one of emphasis. Remember, this is one of the big three effects that we're shooting for as songwriters. Can we emphasize the most important part of the song, usually the title? And to that end, you should keep in mind that parallel counterpoint, where you're actually singing what the bass line is doing, is the most dramatic, the most emphatic kind of counterpoint, and it's usually just reserved for the title. As in these songs, for instance, Owner of a Lonely Heart, parallel fifths. How Will I Know, parallel thirds. Saving All My Love for You, parallel sevenths. So you can hear that by singing the bass line, you're telling the audience that this is a really important idea. Pay attention to this idea above and beyond the supporting ideas in the song.